In this video, I'll be comparing the Canon G7X Mark III with the Fujifilm X-M5 from my very subjective and personal point of view of a Canon shooter. This is not going to be a technical comparison. I am not a technical photographer, and I won't be talking about sensor sizes, frames per second, flipping screens or image stabilization. There are plenty of videos out there covering the technicals for each of these two cameras. When the Fujifilm X-M5 came out few months ago, I wanted to see how it compared on size with my Canon G7X Mark III, however I couldn't find a video on YouTube putting physically the two cameras side by side. Since now I have both, I decided to make this video, and I hope someone will find it useful. Let me give some context about my Canon loyalty. For over a decade I was a full-time professional photographer, shooting corporate events and meetings across 3 continents and over 20 countries. All those years my tools were a Canon 5D Mark II, then a Mark III, and finally a Mark IV. Those cameras were my rock, tough, dependable, and never once failed me. These days, I'm no longer a professional photographer. I traded my DSLRs for a Canon R8, a stellar mirrorless full-frame camera with excellent image quality. But here's the catch, it's too bulky for everyday carry, whether I'm out on my daily walk or traveling. So I use it only on special occasions, like family celebrations or planned photos. So I ended up taking photos only with my phone, an iPhone SE 2020. The camera on this phone is not great, to say the least. I use it because under certain conditions, and if the light is right, it can actually take nice photos. But I use it mainly because it's always with me. And you know what they say, the best camera is the one that is always with you. After a while I felt I needed something with better image quality than a phone, yet more compact than a full-frame camera. And last summer 2024, I got a brand new Canon G7X Mark III. And what a great compact camera this is! First, it's got that familiar and intuitive Canon menu system I have known and loved for years. Second, it's truly a pocketable camera. Personally, I would not stuff it in my jeans, but it slips easily into a jacket pocket, fanny pack, or tiny sling bag. The image quality isn't on par with the full-frame cameras I'm used to, of course, but it's more than enough for capturing family walks or holiday memories. In August 2024, I took it on a long trip to Central Asia. It was very hot and the trip was demanding, but the G7X performed beautifully. I know in my heart that if I had brought the Canon R8, it would have stayed in the hotel room, and I would have just used my phone. So the G7X proved its worth. That said, the Canon G7X Mark III is not perfect. The battery isn't the biggest, you'll get around 250 shots before it's done, which is fine for my needs, but sometimes I wish it was bigger. But my main issue with this camera is the autofocus. For photography, it is fine. Not great, but fine. However, for video it misses focus most of the time, or it is terribly slow to get it right. I am a photography guy, I don't shoot much video, but the few times I tried, it was very frustrating, and it kind of forced me to shoot the videos with my phone anyway. This long backstory brings me to the Fujifilm X-M5. When it launched in November 2024, I watched many reviews. A compact design, better battery life, solid autofocus, top-notch image quality, and those famous Fujifilm simulations everyone seems to love. Logically I thought, could this be the camera I was looking for? I decided to get one, and give it a try. It is, without a question, a great camera. The image quality is great for both photos and video, and I admit it lives up to a lot of the hype. Regarding size, most reviews insist on how small the camera is. And they are right. The body of the Fujifilm X-M5 is only a bit bigger than the Canon G7X Mark III. Here are the measures so you can get an idea. Honestly, I almost prefer the bulkier and slightly heavier body of the Fujifilm, it feels robust and well built. My first issue comes when I put a lens onto the Fujifilm X-M5, being of course an interchangeable lens camera. Here I'm using the 15 to 45mm kit lens. It sticks out more than I would like, to be honest. With this lens on, the Fujifilm X-M5 gets out of the pocketable, or compact cameras range I was hoping for. Sure, a pancake lens like the 27mm could slim it down, but then I would lose the focal range I want. Next issue, the menu. As a Canon loyalist, Fujifilm's menu feels alien and clunky. I know it's a very subjective issue of course, but it's a wall for me. And it gets worse, adjusting settings like ISO, shutter speed, and aperture isn't as seamless as on my Canons. With the G7X or R8, it's right there on the screen. With the X-M5, it's not. Now, not being able to use the screen for this, I had hoped the X-M5's physical wheels would feel like my old 5DS or R8, a tactile throwback I adored. The G7X lacks them entirely, so this seemed like a win for the X-M5. But it's not. The front wheel is too soft, and I find myself accidentally turning and clicking it constantly. The rear wheel, controlling the shutter speed, is too stiff, tough to turn smoothly. It's really a swing and a miss. But my main issue regarding the ergonomics of the X-M5 is the grip. The Canon G7X Mark III has a solid grip on the front, and a spot for the thumb on the back, all made out of rubber. This greatly increases the feeling that this camera is not going to fall out of my hand. However, the grip on the Fujifilm X-M5 is nearly non-existent, and the plastic body provides no traction. It feels very slippery, a contrast to the secure feel of the Canon G7X. So long story short. In my opinion, the Fujifilm X-M5 is a great camera for content creators and vloggers upgrading from a Canon G7X Mark III. Especially if they're not attached to the Canon menu system, unlike me. With all the video features it offers, the autofocus, the focal range, and the Fujifilm simulations and all that, I think they will greatly enjoy it. For me, however, given its size with a lens on, the unfamiliar menu, and the lack of real grip, it is just not the right fit. So I will be selling my Fujifilm X-M5 soon. And that's it for this video. If you found it useful, please give me a like, or let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching.